We had some questions. First one is Ever. Yes, Ever. I'm bringing Ever's question here too. Ever's question is... Well, let me cut this. If Hazel were dropped into Resident Evil 9, would she thirst for Gideon or Leon? Which is such a stupid question, and you guys are so dumb. I hope you guys know that. I think Hazel would thirst over Leon. Something's definitely wrong with Hazel. It might be Gideon. Because she also ARP with PD bot. Something is definitely wrong with this girl. I don't know if it's already asked, but we know Cheddy likes to annoy Hazel or test her, but is there any action Cheddy could do to make Hazel hate him or never forgive him? I mean, there was a point where Hazel was gonna leave the clowns because of Cheddy. And the only reason why she didn't is because Cheddy told her not to. I don't know if... I mean, roleplay is roleplay, right? Anything could happen at any time. I'm never not gonna say this is never gonna happen or something like that. Cheddy stabbed and ocean dumped Hazel. Well, let her get stabbed and ocean dumped. Like, Cheddy and Hazel did not have a good relationship up until... I don't know when it changed. But it changed into a way better relationship now. But their relationship was not good at the beginning. It took like a year for them to warm up to each other. It all depends on roleplay and what he does. I mean, there are obviously Cheddy things, but I don't see them have a followed over it. Because everyone knows that's just Cheddy. So, I don't know. I don't know if this is... Hazel would definitely wait, where did the question go? Hello? Oh, there it is. There could definitely be something, but it has to be, like, drastic. It has to be something where his intentions are malicious and, like... It has to be something where he doesn't want her in his life anymore, kind of thing. Anything... I mean, the clowns are not good people. We do bad things to each other all the time. So I don't know where the line would be. It depends on the roleplay, I think. Also, like, when she was really upset about the Hydra thing, he put her aside and talked to her. If he would have, like, pushed her down during that, she might have, like, distanced herself from him. But the fact that he, like, talked to her about it, whenever it's actually really serious, Cheddy looks in and talks to her about it. And that's why it makes me, like, it makes Hazel not hate him. Do you guys know what I mean? So it must... it would be something where Cheddy doesn't care about how she is doing and, like, doesn't care about the outcome of the situation. And it has to be something really bad. Because Cheddy has gained Hazel's loyalty. And Hazel's a very loyal person. Once Hazel is loyal to you, it will take a lot for her to not be loyal anymore. So, I'd like to know more about Hazel's past or background story, as in how she got to this point and any important milestones or remembers. Because she probably started off as Hazel, but how or who gave her the chance to hang out with the clowns? We talked about this. So Hazel came into the city, and the two groups she immediately met are CG and clowns. She ran into Bozo, Ember, and Oldham. And they kind of, like, interacted with her immediately. And then she also ran into Twinkles. And Twinkles is, like, a person that recruits clowns all the time. So Twinkles immediately took her under the wing. So did Party Hardy. And then Curtis. Curtis took Hazel under the wings when it came to CG's side. So Hazel had hung out with, like, CG and clowns from the beginning of her city, like, city life. And then um, she kind of was just living and learning. There were a lot of moments where Curtis taught her a lot of life lessons about the city that she has to know and stuff, how gangs work and all that. While Twinkles introduced her to as many clowns as possible. And she basically just hung out with both groups. And I mean, those groups also hung out with each other at times, right? So they all hung out together. And yeah, it just kind of, I think it was very clear that Hazel is not a gang person, because she doesn't she likes conflict, don't get me wrong, but she is not made for a gang life. I think that's pretty obvious, because she's a troll and she acts out a lot. So because of that, she fit very well with the clowns. Were there any special people or moments before she decided that this is the right group for her? I'm thinking. I mean, she kind of just hung out with the clowns. It was never her intention to be Clowncil. She didn't even know what Clowncil is. It was more so Party Hardy literally looked at her and knew she was a clown. She didn't want to push being a clown. She, Party encouraged her to wear the clown mask. I remember that day where he was like, "Why are you never wearing a clown mask?" And she was like, "Because I'm not part of the group and I don't want people to think I am part of the group." And he's like, "That's not how it works with the clowns." And then he brought her to a clothing store and he was like, "Make a unique fit." And that's how the OG derpy fit happened. And then he was like, "I know the perfect clown name for you." And I said, "What is it?" And he said, "Derpy." And because of that, that name kind of stuck with her. And then she kind of embraced her clown side more. So when I say it was all party because Hazel didn't really push it. Party saw that clown side in her from the second he met her. So did Twinkles. Twinkles and Party immediately saw a clown side in her and tried to recruit her. And then through that, she met Kirk, and she got very good friends with Kirk. And then she met Cheddy and got to know Cheddy. So, funny enough, this was all backwards because she met everyone else, got friends with everyone else, and then met Cheddy. Which might also be the reason why it took them so long to warm up to each other. Why was she named Derpy, and who did she erp with? Did she ever try to hit on Cheddy? Okay, that is crazy. I think Party named her Derpy because of the way she is. Party just said, "I have the perfect name for you," and she said, "Who is it?" And he said, "Derpy," and that was her clown name. From then on, it was her clown name. She loved it. She was in love with it. Bozo said, "This is perfect." And who did she erp with? The first person she erped with in the city was, funny enough, Curtis. Which makes so much sense of why my girl is the way she is, okay? Now everything makes sense why she is the way she is. Because the first person she ever erped with was Curtis. And to anyone that ever asked themselves what the hell is wrong with her, blame Curtis. Did she ever try to hit on Cheddy? No. She was scared of Chatterbox for a really long time. A really long time. Curtis is never not erping. Brother, the story between Hazel and Curtis was so funny. It was such a good storyline too. It was so funny. How and when did she reach the point of being invited to the Clowncil and essentially being a core member? She had to talk to Cheddy after being very scared of Cheddy. And people were like, "Ask him how to be a part of the group. Ask him how to be a part of the group. Ask him how to be a part of the group." And Hazel was like, No, it's fine." And everyone was like, "Ask him now." And then she asked him. And then he said, "Okay, for you, in order to be part of the group, you have to kidnap Mr. K and bring him to me." But Hazel didn't have that relationship with Mr. K yet. She was just a baby. So Hazel freaked out. And funny enough, she called Tessa even though she wasn't adopted by Tessa yet. She called Tessa and she was like, help me, please. What am I supposed to do here? I'm scared of Mr. K. And Tessa's like, you don't have to be scared of Mr. K. And if anything, just find the, like, loophole. We're clowns, you know? You will find a way. And then Tessa gave her this idea to, like, outplay this. So what happened was Hazel called Mr. K and she was like, hey, I know you never heard of me, but Cheddy told me in order to be part of Clowncil, I have to kidnap you and bring him to him. But I don't want to do that to you. So how about we fake kidnap you and then set up Cheddy to kidnap Cheddy? And Mr. K was like, this is a fire idea, I'm so down. And she was like, wait, really? And he was like, yeah, and then they left town and never came back. They left and never came back. It's gone. They're gone. They're gone. To this day, Hazel's waiting for the callback from Mr. K. To this day, Hazel's waiting for the callback so they can kidnap Cheddy. To this day, Hazel's still waiting for the callback from Mr. K. And then, when or why was Hazel or Derpy adopted by Tessa? This question I couldn't have answered you a couple months ago because I was also like, why the fuck would Tessa Lambs adopt Hazel? That doesn't make any sense. Right, out of all people, why would you want to adopt Hazel? That one girl where it's very obvious that something's wrong with her. But Tessa said, Hazel asked this Tessa once, and Tessa said it was because of the way how caring Hazel is about Tessa. And how much she listened to Tessa and was looking up to Tessa and was listening to her advice and all that. That made Tessa want to adopt her. So it was just the way Hazel was with Tessa that made Tessa decide, okay, I'm gonna adopt her. She's gonna be one of my children. I have no clue how Hazel got this. Because, like, having Tessa as a mom is the biggest flex you probably have in life. And she was willing to take accountability. Yeah, that was also a huge part. I'd love if Curtis came back. Raymond and Curtis have a funny relationship because they both have... That's the thing! You guys, okay, this is gonna sound fucked up, but you guys don't understand how much Raymond Romanoff reminds me of Curtis. And it's like a kind of a sick way, where it's like, the first person she herbed with was Curtis, the biggest red flag. And then the second, like, now her boyfriend is Raymond Romanoff. And I think Hazel is so okay with the way Ray is. It's because she was used to it by Curtis. I'm genuine. I think Curtis... I don't think there could be anything worse than Curtis. And because of that, Ray looks so normal to her. And because of this, Hazel's like, nah, you know... You're not toxic, Ray. You're not toxic. It's because of Curtis. It's because she had to deal with Curtis as her very first man. You guys don't understand. They were having a thing. And then Hazel was like, hey, I have a crush on you. And then Curtis was like, I don't do relationships. And then they have a fallout. And then Hazel talks to Jacob, her other ex. And then Curtis gets jealous about that. And they start Twitter beef, Hazel and Curtis. They start Twitter beef. And then Curtis pulls up to Senior Buns to start blasting in front of Hazel. But he obviously he missed his shots. But like, he was like, quote unquote, shooting at Hazel for flirting with another man because he was jealous. So that was the Curtis and Hazel situationship. And because of that, Ray seems like a sweet angel baby that can't do no wrong, Chad. I can't lie. So if anything, Ray should dab up Curtis and be like, thank you for preparing her for trauma because now I look good. Curtis was great. I miss Curtis. It would be funny as fuck if Curtis could come back. I miss CG in general. When Hazel and Raymond started their friendship with benefits, they both stated, quote unquote, not believing in love. In Hazel's mind, has this changed at all now that she has a boyfriend? Or does she see this new relationship more of a having fun with the person I enjoy spending my time with the most? It definitely... So this is depending on the roleplay we'll go. Because depending on the situation and depending how Ray will handle this relationship, it's definitely not love at the moment. 100% not. They're just... It's still the same thing they were before, just saying they're exclusive and they're not doing it with others, kind of. So not a lot changed. But Hazel's also still very scared. I don't know if you guys can tell, but Hazel's like not convinced of like Ray being able to do a relationship. Hazel has been in a relationship for 2 days and he's been away for 1, yes. So Hazel has... Time will tell. It depends on the RP. It all depends on the roleplay. It all depends on how the roleplay plays out. Right now, it's just the same thing, just being exclusive. Nothing much changed so far. I hope that helped. Oh yeah, those are the questions I told you guys that I'm gonna answer on stream because I was too lazy to answer them in the channel.
King of the Clowncil, haze in my blood. Every plan I make, leave the block in a flood. Slip out of cuffs like they ain't even locked. PD, catch me once, then I'm already dropped.